Right here?
No, it's supposed to be transition.
Right, he ain't even. You ain't not catch
sorry.
on good.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about that. I'm upset.
I'm
$60
upset.
though. That's how much you worth.
He need money. Shit, ain't quick.
Okay, who had
Need
that?
money. I don't know. Did y'all see the video?
Yeah,
Yes.
I watched
How do y'all?
most
What are
of it.
y'all thoughts on it?
I mean, it is what it is. I don't really care.
Were you
for
moved by it?
I only was moved because I watched Degrassi and I like the show.
You watched it?
Yeah, I
oh,
love
I didn't,
Degrassi.
what? I didn't know that. You watched Degrassi too?
That was my shit.
Really?
Best I can. See, I was one of the people that I think Janelle and somebody else watched it, and I was like, I'm not watching that shit. So it used to come on, was it Nick at Night or some shit?
Mm-hmm.
So
No, I
I
didn't,
started
I
from
thought.
the beginning, so I was like, fine, and I fell in love with it. So that was my show. I used to love Degrassi.
Really?
I used to
Degrassi was the
Wow.
shit. You didn't watch Degrassi?
Only reason why I watched one episode because I liked this girl in high school and I wanted to have something to talk about and I watched it and I was like, so I watched her and I came back to school and pretend like I just knew everything was going on, but I didn't like the show.
I
mean,
stand
me
by
personally,
this episode's title.
I didn't care.
I think it's one of them shows you have to kind of understand where they're coming from each episode, though.
No, I didn't even know Drake was on there. Like, you
Yeah,
know, somebody
Jimmy.
said something.
Come on
Jimmy.
now.
That's where I knew him from first. Because when he came out, when he first came out, like with the Trey Songz replacement girl, all that little shit, I was kind of like, And
Same.
And then, because, you know, me and Janelle, like, if Jimmy don't get his ass out of here, like,
Oh, really?
you better roll into this video.
That's
like, fuck outta here.
crazy. That's
See,
So
wild.
that's where I knew him from.
Right.
Because it's like, I think for a lot of
I
people, it was
remember
like Jimmy
Replacement
trying to rap. Okay.
Jimmy
Like,
tryna
whatever.
rap.
Right. And one of the things that was confusing to me was when he was on SNL and everybody was like, Drake trying to act. And I'm like, Drake
He's been
been
acting.
acting.
Yeah.
Y'all late. But
Little
Degrassi was
sideburns.
my shit. I don't really care for the song.
Yeah.
But it was nice seeing all of the
All of them together,
Degrassi
yeah.
people.
Hazel.
I know. I was so geeked. I was like, look at Hazel.
It made me sorry to cut you, but it made me remember the characters because like you remember them, but I remember certain names forever, like Spinner.
Yep.
And
Paige.
Well, Emma,
Marco, Manny.
Yeah, so some of the
Ho.
names it was right. Okay, that's what I.
Whoa.
Wait a minute, I watched like the
That's a world
first episode, like 10 seconds of it, and I saw her like little heifer.
What'd she do? She cheat on somebody?
She was just fast.
Yeah.
Manny, she
Smell her own piss?
she hated people seeing her as a little girl, so she wanted to grow up fast and
It was
wear thongs.
it was a show, and you know when I was younger, when I was watching, I didn't realize that they had different generations, which was dope to me. Like, I think Emma's mom was on there when she was younger, but I think it was one of those shows.
My mom
that,
watched that season.
I think it was one of those shows that a lot of stuff happened. Like Jimmy got shot. Emma, what was wrong with her?
Emma went through a lot.
Yeah, she was sucking dick or something. Wasn't she
Whoa.
smart?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was.
Whoa.
It was very.
I think
before
she
its
had
time.
anorexic problems.
Yes. See, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go back and rewatch some of the stuff when I have time to kind of remember.
yeah.
But it was a lot of stuff that people may go through during high school
Marco
and puberty.
was gay.
Yeah. See, it was
Craig was getting beat up by his dad. Paige was raped. It dealt with a lot of issues.
Where's the school based in? Like
Canada.
Oh, it's based in Canada. Okay.
Degrassi High.
Yeah.
Be the best.
Yeah, that was my show. But shout out to Drake. The song is
To me, I think he did one of those things where, to me, like I said, it just makes
You
sense.
don't see
Like
anything.
you just got, kind of eaten up by Push, and that was that.
Pause.
But you're still gonna always be Drake. You're still at the top of the charts. People still watching you. So what's better to do than to bring together the Degrassi cast and have everybody go, oh,
right.
we don't like the song, but that's all right.
Pretty
Like,
much.
So it was a smart
Made
move
me
to
forget
do.
about the
Right, that was smart to
shit.
do. So for you motherfuckers that didn't watch it, so what? Like that's basically what he said. But you motherfuckers that did, gonna be like, oh my god,
Pretty much.
he's
Everybody.
the best.
I was just like,
Whatever it takes, I know.
why did there was a point in the video with the white kid? I think that's the white kid that shot
Spinner.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Spinner. Why did the black dudes chase after him?
Because he shot Drake. And
Oh,
Jimmy.
that's
Yeah.
okay. That's why. Okay,
Mhm.
I figured that's
Jimster.
what it was.
He's probably in that car with him like,
He was
this is nice. Right.
he was shaking.
He mean,
Right.
Did he shoot him on purpose or was it an accident?
He was being bullied.
yeah.
I'm saying like when you say he was shaking the gun, like was he like kind of stopped?
He
or?
was nervous. You could.
I really don't remember, to be honest
Oh,
with you.
okay.
Yeah, he was
But
shaking because he didn't want to do it, but he was tired of being bullied.
I
so
just remember there was by the lockers,
right.
and Drake was like, "Come on, man, you have to do this."
My nigga zigzag. He ran straight.
Yeah, he
Zag.
did round it by the double doors. He
Yeah.
didn't quite get through. Yeah.
Nice
Jeez.
and weird.
Oh,
Anyway.
I so remember. Not the last thing. I so remember that episode. Me and Micah talked about that episode and how we both was like, "Oh my god, man!" I remember that.
It's
Oh, man.
crazy. Like I think back to all that because I swear I was probably one of the only people that didn't really watch it out of my friends, and I'm like, I'm not watching that. And I was kind of like, my bad, y'all. But I'm glad I did. It was a good series. So shout out to Degrassi and Drake and him being upset.
I'm upset.
Random shit of the week. So I was listening to, this was like last week. I sound like Kia Fury. Arian Foster's podcast, and he had a really good episode with Deion Sanders. I love it when he talks to like older guys that have something to say. I'm just gonna play a small clip. It was they kind of were talked about it for a while, but I guess this will kind of get you an idea of what my question is. So
Okay.
I'll play it for y'all.
Boy, you got some.
This is what I do,
some
man.
isms,
I love to talk to people. I never get a chance to really talk to folks,
that's
man.
real,
So I
that's real.
love it.
Yeah.
I love to talk to people, man. So with those youngsters, man, I pray for them, dog, because they're attracting who they are. And if we really look at it, we attract who we were.
Oh, that's game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you attract. Who you are, and that's not a good thing. Because then we wake up and find ourselves married to ourselves.
Man, it's free game you giving up, man.
That's real, man.
I gotta pay for this shit,
Yeah,
man.
we go ahead. And I got the nerve to divorce me. I'm gonna divorce me.
So, he was just talking about, obviously were both football players in the NFL. Just talking about, obviously, going into the league and getting married. And I think Deion Sanders, somebody he was married twice, and it wasn't really for the right reasons because kids came into place, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then him kind of realizing that, I did attract who I was at that moment. They kind of touched on mental health and not really, being fully aware of who they were and not loving themselves first. So I just wanted to ask y'all, do y'all think that's true? And do you feel like there once was a time where you attracted somebody who, like he said, wasn't good at that moment, where you attracted who you were at that time in a bad way?
Mwanja?
Dang.
I had to go before you said Lassie.
I immediately listened to him. I was saying of Tekashi for some reason. I don't know why, but like just the fact, because he was talking about these young kids, and just the way that he moves and he does like this whole trolling thing, and it's popping. It's popping. He's doing this thing, and it's just crazy. And sometimes I sit back and I'm like, damn, like do I need to do something like something viral to make shit pop? And then I'm like, damn, that wouldn't be my authentic self. So, and I don't know if Tekashi is doing this and this is his authentic self or what the case may be. It's obviously working for him, but what he is attracting he's attracting things that doesn't belong, like the whole Chief Keef thing, all this gang and violence and all this stuff like that, and you attracting what you put out. So I totally agree with what he's saying. And then in the sense of like relationships too, you definitely attract what you put out, especially like with Deion Sanders. He's a flashy dude. So you're gonna get the chicks that get attracted to the flashiness and then expect that lifestyle. Whereas you get older and it kind of slows down, they still stuck on the old Deion Sanders. So
what's interesting about him though, he said that that's really not him. He was saying that him being on the field is him being on the field because that comes with his game. It's a really good episode if you listen to it because he did drop some gems. But he was just talking about here a regular dude like to hang with his kids, family, travel, stuff like that. And I guess he was kind of, to me, speaking of on the idea that if you really know him, then that's who he is. But obviously he was just saying, because he had like a spill about how he was married twice, wrong person, and just didn't work out. And you wake up one day like, what the fuck? Then you try to make it work because of the kids. So he was just like giving some advice to like younger people in the NFL, because Arian Foster was kind of saying like, shit, I had my time where my vice was drinking and things like that, and women and blah 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 blah. So lastly, I just thought it was an interesting question because it make you go down.
I agree. As Mwanje was talking, I was sitting here thinking, and I was like, so I do think that is true sometimes. And I say sometimes because, like right now, the person that I am now, I do think that I'm getting that back in my partner. Like, it's so funny because we were going down this new journey in our relationship, and we're both like, you're becoming my best friend. it's cute but ugly at the same time. So I won't be mushy, but
Oh, look at her face. She's smiling and stuff.
right.
Okay.
no,
You
because
wanna go to
you
Booze
know,
and Nudes.
they say bye. They say that your partner should be your best friend,
Right,
and
So
the
absolutely.
fact
so
that
you're speaking in a good way then.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So,
So
okay.
yeah, so it's great because what I'm, who I am now, what I'm trying to do in my life, what I'm putting out into my relationship, into the world, I'm getting back from him. Love,
Mm.
support, kindness, laughs. I'm getting all that back. I do say sometimes because if I go to the previous guy that I was dating before, my boyfriend, I don't think that I was getting who I was.
Put out.
Yeah, I wasn't getting who I
Yeah.
was. I was getting somebody completely different. I don't know who that guy was, but I wasn't getting who I was at the moment, and I think it's really case by case scenario. Depends on the relationship, and sometimes you're just attracted to the wrong people, but by the grace of God and my friend telling me to leave his stupid ass alone, it finally happened. So
Mm-hmm.
hey.
Interesting.
I think too is I think that we gotta. Some people find it very difficult, like with the podcast. Like some people will take like literally what you say and think you're that type of way on the podcast, and then you get outside the podcast and it's like, oh, you're a totally different person. And it's just like, not saying that you being fake, but there is a different persona because you have to. It's certain things you have to do on a podcast as opposed to your regular self. And then just taking that outside of basketball, like people hate LeBron on the court, but sometimes they take that off the court, and like off the court, he's a completely different person. He's paying for kids' tuitions and stuff like that,
Yeah.
scholarships and stuff like that. So
Right.
And I think that's
people
a
gotta
good
separate that.
Yeah, I think it's a good example because I think that's what he was more speaking on. That I think it was, he called it just a prime time that came with the game because of that's, I guess, growing up. He kind of talked about what he started at playing football, being in Florida, things like that. That came with the hardness of the game. And when I say hardness, like playing to play well, it wasn't to
Right.
be flashy. It was just who he was, and he just had, that's just how he had that swag. And basically,
Right.
how you take it is how you take it. But over here, this is me and my life and my family. And I
Entertainment.
because I remember when I was young, my mom used to always like him, like, oh, he's so fine, he's so smooth, and he's like, I can't help that. I didn't even realize that he played in the it was MLB. He played football too at the same time, so he was going back and forth. I'm like, damn, this nigga smart. But yeah, it's just, I thought it was an interesting question. I think it goes both ways. Too, like with people like Tekashi 6ix9ine. I started the Brilliant Idiots episode today, and they were kind of talking about that and him being very extra in his situation in Chicago and just too
grabbing
much.
the baby mama
Yeah.
and all that stuff like that.
And I think that's a good example too. But just generally, I think, like Lassie said, that's why I said sometimes you have the bad stuff where at one point in life you may have been a certain way when you were
Right.
dating whomever, and it just didn't work out. But I think it's all a part of the process. You grow, you meet different people,
Yep.
things come back around, whatever it is. It just wasn't your time, your time, or that person. So
And I think-
whatever.
Oh, go ahead. You was
I was just saying amen, and shout out to Deion Sanders. I used to really, really love his show that came on,
Yes.
and he said something. It was one of his little quotes that he told his kids, and it stuck with me. This was only a couple of years ago when I was living in Florida when I seen this show, but he said, if you, obviously we've all heard the phrase, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Right.
But he's also said, like, if you look good, you feel good.
Yeah, he
And
kept
that's
saying that.
so true. Like,
So do.
when I look good, I feel
I get a haircut,
good.
I feel like the motherfucking man. I'll be like,
See, and I just like, obviously it's TV, but I just like his persona when he's with his kids and things like that. But
Yeah, I think if you kind of listen to that interview or if you watch this show, you can definitely tell. Because I think if you don't know him, you'll be able to be like, oh, yeah, he flashy. And then he was just kind of like, that's just me being on the field. But shout out to him, too, because I think I tweeted something he said on there, and he had retweeted it. So,
and I think people don't give people an opportunity to grow. Like when you get presented with new information, like you might have your mindset on one thing, but then when you get new information and you're presented, then let me assess that information, and if I feel like my previous mind was incorrect, then I should be able to grow and learn from that.
kind of like what you were saying on the radio show, right?
Yeah, and I think people
Yeah.
don't give, and of course you don't need people to validate you, but
Of course
it's
not.
very difficult when people are down your throat. Like, you were just saying this one day, now you saying this the other day. Well, I was in between that time, I was presented with new information, new facts that I did not know.
I don't even think that.
And it just, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to grow.
Not even new facts. Like, I think you are allowed to kind of change your mind.
Yeah.
Because this is what I tweeted. Kind of, I guess, falls into that a little bit. He said, when my confidence offends your insecurities, then there's a problem. So he was just kind of, I think they were asking him, or Arian was asking him about joining different teams with different people, and then like him being able to go out and talk to people, and people just, come towards him and just want to, talk to him or whatever, and then everybody else kind of like, yeah. And he's like, because I'm confident and this is what I do in the field or how I am off the field, you don't have to be offended by whatever it is you feel like. I don't even know why you offended. So he's like, that's a problem.
Right.
So that's what he retweeted. So yeah, that was my weekly revelation. I had it in the bag for a minute, kind of forgot what the fuck it was. I had another one, but I don't know what the fuck it came from. So let's move on to dating and relationships.
Ooh, dating and relationships. I still can't talk. So I saw this story on XO Nicole. I'm so glad I said it right. I usually want to call her Nicole Bitchy. But she's trying to grow. She's trying to move on from that.
She's allowed to change her mind.
Okay. She's not like that anymore. But so there was a story that I ran across where it says, so Iman Shumpert says he gave Tiana Taylor a hit list should your man share his sexual history. And one of the quotes that he says, so we both know that there was some cheating rumors going on, and they both said that those are false. And then one of the things that he said was, before any of this, I've been had to give Tiana this list. I had to. She can't feel embarrassed ever. I ain't gonna have her feel embarrassed. And then just going into the article, it says the painful truth exists that your boo has sexual experience before they were with you. As cringeworthy as it is to talk about, it's the naked truth that your man got naked with someone else. The underlying question is, should you and your partner disclose your sexual histories with one another? And if so, at one point in a relationship, is this conversation necessary? So I'm going to leave it there because I think the title and context that I read gave enough. What do you think, Mwanje?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I feel like
Mwanje going to say no.
No. I was going to say when you do give that information out, and I guess I'm gonna answer with answer your question with a question. When you do give that information out, does the other party, do they have the right to feel like damn or be like upset or mad? Like, can they be upset or mad at whoever your hit list or on your hit list is?
If we're having an open discussion, then I don't think so. If you're gonna be angry, then I don't think we should have a discussion.
Right. And that's where I was getting at. I don't think it depends on if you know your partner well enough, and you know your partner is like maybe jealous, or you know your partner's past and their past might not be as decorated as yours. Then I think you might need to maybe pause.
Right. I was like,
party. You gotta know the
party supply.
Know what darling set up.
I mean, hey.
You might want to dial back just a little bit. Just give enough information where they feel comfortable with what you share. But
nobody needs a play-by-play. We don't need to know every position we did in one night.
That, but certain things. Me personally, I feel like I like to be, when I'm talking to someone, I like to be very vulnerable and give not all the information, but just enough to feel that you can trust me. And I can feel like, and also show that I trust you with my information that I have. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's okay to get a hit list, especially if you're in an area where you might come across these women, and vice versa for men. Some people are petty, and they'll look at you like, yeah, I used to fuck your man, yada yada yada, or do a little sneak shit, and you gotta be, and if your girl or your
why
man,
you didn't say it for the dude? You say, yeah, I used to fuck your man. What about the niggas?
I said vice versa, and I would say for your dude and for the dudes, right. For the dudes, the same thing. You just gotta be prepared because dudes are petty too. They'll do some little slick, while you gone, send a little drink her way and stuff like that. Little stuff like that. You just gotta be prepared and let it know, and then also be confident too that you're in that space with this person right now. You're the one that they chose, so you should be you should be confident enough that whatever happened in the past is just the past, and that you like this person because of that past. So that makes perfect sense. Because that person went through whatever they went through, it got them here to where you are now.
Okay, gotcha.
That's
What you-
funny. I think
You threw me
I
off
think
a
number
little.
one, it comes with confidence within yourself, understanding, like you said, who you are and where you are in your life and your relationship. Two, I think it is important only when you're in an environment where it can become an issue because people like to be petty. So
Right.
just like a heads up, because I think what he was saying was like when that shit popped off, Iron Man was involved. Hold on. No, I wasn't. This was back then before. Okay, cool. So that way I ain't
Right.
gonna ask no questions. When people come attack me, I can respond accordingly. Kind of an example, but not too much. I was watching Queen Sugar and the Aunt Vi is a little bit older than her boyfriend Hollywood, and they went to his high school reunion. And some chick, oh hey Hollywood, you want to dance
Right.
or whatever? And then they sat down on the table and she's like, oh Hollywood, I didn't know you brought your mom in here, woody woody woo. And she
Petty.
could have flipped.
Damn.
She could have flipped the fuck out. And she's like, oh no honey, I'm Vi, I'm his woman or whatever. She was just kind of looking stupid because she didn't react the same way she did.
Right.
And Hollywood was like, no, this is my woman or whatever. Oh, Vi, would you like to dance? She's like, sure. So then he walked away, and then she kind of tapped her, was like, be good. And she was looking fucking stupid. So
Right, and
I really can't remember if they had a conversation, but I'm sure, high school reunion, okay, this who gonna be here, this is my ex-girlfriend. Not even that. That comes with, like I said, initially being confident in who you are in your relationship. So up top, she kind of gave it a little smirk like, oh, no, girl, I'm his woman, but thank you, bitch.
right.
You know how they Negro.
Right. Okay.
Bitch.
That's funny. Well, I had the conversation with
Uh-oh.
um
How many bodies you had, sis?
Took him down.
Right.
that's not the conversation that we had. I don't think numbers are important. I think what's important is people that you're still having friendships with and things like that. I would never want the person that I'm with to not know that if someone is my friend that we, had whatever before, because then they don't know. And it's like, what if it come up one day, like him and my guy friend being friends, and he like, yeah, back in the, I don't know, my guy friends would never do that, but
Yeah, I was gonna
you
say,
know,
they should know not to do that shit.
right. But if it were to happen, it's something that my man would already know.
Right. Right.
I don't.
Thanks, no thanks.
And even on his end, I asked him about a couple of women and certain co-workers and things like that, and I was like, what happened, what went on, and it wasn't a thing where either of us got mad. It's just something that no one wants to look dumb or feel embarrassed.
Right. That's
You
what I'm
know.
saying. You gotta give somebody the opportunity to know so they can
Right.
Right.
Tiana, and then I think the space that Tiana Taylor and them and her and Iman are in too it's a different space that we're in too. So it's one and because people can slander you off top, like somebody like, oh, because he could have just not responded to it. I think it would have been fine too, but
Right.
because of the respect that he has for her, he automatically shut that down. Boom, nope, and then so she can be on the internet like,
Right.
Then the video was released of them gyrating in the club. which is
Right.
very entertaining.
Her little booty.
Right, she be gyrating.
Her little booty.
It's like little for her body,
Right,
But it's
that's what-
perfect.
Oh, I was
So
about
you
to say
see
'cause
being
that was like
extra.
fade. That fade video. That booty was not little.
He just got back on her. Sorry. Anyway,
Right.
I'm confused
I
by
touched
that.
that booty.
You touched.
right.
That
You
booty.
said I touched your titty. Just kidding. Let me
Wow.
let me
No,
stop.
that was so funny. He was like, let me just
I fixed your
How?
shirt.
Oh, you fixed it. Oh, yeah, you told that story.
Yeah. So
keep
Oh.
up.
you said.
I didn't know what y'all was talking about.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good question.
Interesting.
Oh, it's me.
Pay attention. my friend.
Hey, damn, I can't even have a conversation. And
Open
then
your
y'all go.
pamphlet. Yeah.
Damn,
I saw the
y'all
conversation
getting on my
dying.
nerves. Can you pass me the thing, please? If you would have known, you would have passed me the
No,
thing.
nigga, I saw it. You
Hey,
should have been
anybody pass me the
prepared.
thing?
You should have
Alright.
been prepared.
Why didn't you pass me the
I don't have
thing?
to pass you nothing. You
Get
should be
your
prepared.
clip up.
You ain't got the clip up. You took 20 minutes
clip is
finding
already
this
up.
shit.
The clip is already up, fam. Look, the clip is right
Finally,
here, fam.
shit.
It's right here.
We waited half
It's right
an hour
here.
for you to find.
It's right
look,
here.
see,
It's
he was
right
up here
here.
like,
It's
How you
right
gonna
here.
YouTube?
right.
How you YouTube? What are you talking about? That
Sitting
makes
there
no
like, what's
sense.
next? Like,
That makes no sense. I thought y'all was finna go on to another part of the section. Dang.
you,
We
motherfucker.
did.
Play this shit.
Your
See what you
topic.
said. So I don't even give a fuck
I
about what she
lost
said
it
no
now.
more. I heard it this
I
morning.
lost
Shit.
it.
Yeah, I just heard it when
The
you
new
just
movie
played
is
it.
called Hereditary.
Now we got an ad.
It's like it's my fault.
This just in. Buy has 5 calories
I
and
can't
no
help it.
artificial
It did it.
sweeteners.
I had it loaded up,
And
ready to go. Sorry.
was
This
prepared.
just in keeps
I was
putting
prepared.
blueberries inside of raspberries.
Hey, it's not my fault.
Raspberry.
YouTube went down. I can't
What?
take the clip
5
off and put it in
calories,
the
no
notes.
artificial sweeteners, and taste amazing.
Dang.
This was turned into a big thing.
Y'all happy?
All right,
No.
Shut it up
somebody
anyway. Shut up.
tweeted
I'm
out
leaving
Issa
it.
Rae teases season 3 Insecure will
Stank
be
in
about
here.
black masculinity, a topic
me,
I
I
bet
took a
she thinks
shower.
she's an expert on.
You
Oh, that
do
was
Like,
like
I'm
Curtis
really
Coon.
stank in
Oh,
here.
shit.
She'll follow the trend of other
Heard it this
prominent
morning.
black women, producers, directors, writers, and filmmaking, and promote some sort of effery about black men. And Jay Ellis responded, but what do you think about that?
What did Jay say?
He said, as a black man who was a part of the first 2 seasons of Issa Rae and the very diverse writing staff of Insecure's work, I'd have to say, shut the fuck up. By the way, pick your pants up.
Fine, nigga.
Your toxicity is showing.
I mean, that's really bottom line. Like, it's toxic masculinity. I mean, I had somebody on my Instagram yesterday say, like, there is a movement against black men, against straight black men. And I'm like, there have definitely been movements against straight black men, but it ain't from black women.
Yeah.
Like, especially not right now. I think the movement, if anything, is to try to push straight black men into growing up and into stepping into a new space of acceptance of their own selves and of emotion and of going to therapy so that they're not consistently in, it's not even post-traumatic stress syndrome disorder. It's like current traumatic stress disorder.
100%.
Being a black man in this country,
Amen.
All right, Lassie, since your first time hearing it, or part hearing part of it, what are some of your thoughts on that?
First of all, I love Amanda Seales. Second, I did see Jay Ellis tweet that because that person who he responded to was ranting. Even Reagan Gomez, she took the time out to respond to some of the tweets that he posted. But I definitely agree with her. This movement against black men, I don't see it coming from black women. Do women say men are trash? Yes. But I ain't never seen women say black men are trash. Well, I ain't never seen black women say that. Maybe here or there, but it ain't a lot of them. I'm saying
She
one
said in a deserving manner.
right. One to 2 women out of the 10 that might be saying it. But I mean, I agree exactly what she said. Like, the agenda to me seems to pushing black men into being vulnerable, being comfortable with sharing their feelings, being comfortable with going to therapy, being open, things like that. Reese did a fruition with him, but Cedric, when I think about what she's saying, I kind of think about Cedric.
Right.
Cedric is really open. He tries to
understand.
He tries to understand. He tries to show men a different way to understand, some things that women may say that, or go through. And, I love that he tries to he even pushes men to be open and vulnerable. It's okay to cry. It's okay to have your safe place, things like that. So, I mean, I love what she's saying. I completely agree. Again, I mean, I know I've been talking about my boyfriend a lot this episode, but I do that with him. If there's something that you do not like that I say or that I do in this relationship, you get to say that you don't like something. It's not happy wife, happy life. It's happy. If we both happy, we should have a happy relationship.
Bullshit. Okay.
That some women may go by that, but I don't. I want him to be just as happy as I'm happy. I don't want him to be feeling like, damn, she don't listen to me. I'm holding all this shit in, but she get to express her feelings all the time. No, I want him to be able to do the exact same. If he feels that, there's something that he wants to cry about, I want him to cry. Like, that's just me. Be in your feelings. Do what you want to do. Don't try to hold back because society says men shouldn't cry. Like, whatever. But
Easy.
No, go ahead.
Do you think all women think that way? I think most women don't think that way.
I don't think that most women think that way.
No.
And I think that's the issue why men don't do that, because the girls, their dreams, the one that they finally are able to get somehow, some way, because either they lost weight, got money, whatever they did to get that, because that's what for the most part men do. Mm-hmm. They change, grow the fuck up because they see a woman that they want, and that woman is attracted to a certain type of person or man, and he grows up and be that, and then finally gets there, and it's still not enough. And then, say for instance, a man come across a woman like you, where it's kind of like he treats your type wrong because the woman that he had before was fuckery. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it just I
think that could go both ways though, with men and women.
I mean, yeah, I totally agree with Amanda.
But one thing that a lot of people have to understand, although everybody is not, how I'm saying, if she's the woman of your dreams, she's gonna be that way. She's not gonna put you down or make you feel like your feelings are too much and you're not allowed to have them. If she is doing that, then I don't think that's the woman of your dreams. My opinion, but
some people don't know what the hell their dreams are. They just see
Facts.
beauty. Beauty's only skin deep.
facts.
Yeah, no, I agree with Lassie. I think we're in an era right now, and maybe even us millennials and then the generation under us too, where it's becoming more. People are becoming more open to being themselves and being vulnerable, especially men crying, things like that. Because I think a lot of it is too is based upon how you grew up, men and women. Because sometimes, you know, as women, you grew up and you see a man that's a certain way, so you want a man to act a certain way based on TV, your father, your uncle, whatever. And then men, like you said too, which is kind of general too. You can date somebody that's pure trash. You get to the next person, and then you trying to have your guards up, and then you have somebody that treats you right, and then you don't treat them right because you used to bullshit. But as far as what she's saying, yeah, I think it's true. I think that people may get offended too because we are in an era that's different from back in the 60s, 50s, where the woman stayed at home, did all the work, didn't get an education. So we're in this type of era where women and black women are empowered. I think it's even said that black women are the most educated women in America at this point too. So I think that's something that kind of steps in too. And another thing too, just to keep it general, I think we're also in an era where they're including everybody. So it's the gay people, the transgender people, black people, or they're at least trying to. So a lot of these shows as we watch, like I'm catching up on Star. You got Cotton, who's trying to go through the process of being transgendered. Black people, white people. They got Star, who's white, the black girl, and her sister, who's half black and white. Like everybody's being inclusive. So sometimes I think that everything kind of adds up, and some things look a certain way, but it's all a part of the process, I guess.
So, Reese, as you get a boyfriend, and you learn that he's going through some things. Maybe he has some man issues.
You got a baby Benz.
And will you give him the opportunity to learn and grow from those issues as he evolves in a relationship with you?
You asking me?
Yeah. I'm saying, like, is the man supposed to be ready and be open and honest and all that stuff before he gets to you? Or
I mean, I would prefer that, and I'm not gonna lie, but
right.
I think that in the era that I'm in now, or the era that we're in now, just generally, you're not gonna get somebody that's come.
Right.
We take the little bow off and shit, and they pop. They come out all cute and shit.
Booze and news.
Right. Okay. But yeah, I'm willing to grow with somebody as long as it ain't some bullshit. What? Shit, it's true.
No. I was thinking of my next question. Go ahead.
You funny, but no, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I looked at you and said, you really asking me, because I think I'm open to a lot of people. I just generally like talking to people any damn way. So I like hearing different stories, and for me, I just know that everybody ain't raised the same way. People really be going through shit, like pure shit. So I've been through some stuff. So I mean, it's life. So yeah. What about you? You willing to grow with a woman that's just not vulnerable, and she's just closed up and just been through some shit, and she ain't like really ready to tell you, but she like you and you like her? Something in my heart.
It depends. If the time frame has been given, and I've shown that it's okay to be your authentic self, then and you still don't do that, and all of a sudden, and when I'm like kind of giving up, and you want to show it, it's kind of like, now I got to do how much more time do I have to spend to learn this whole new person that I didn't know, huh?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah. So, So it just
it don't feel good, do it?
No, I wasn't even trying to get at you like that though.
No, I'm not talking about that.
Oh, okay.
Talking about the episode.
Is it a yes or no?
No, it's a yes. It's a yes, but I think in context what we're talking about, in this particular,
you give him a wine, when he go, but I think.
In the context that she's talking about, it's too late.
When he do this too.
It's
church hands.
It's too late. That's just a high five. When in the context she's talking about, when it took too long to do what happened, like to do what it was, it was like too late. It's too late. So
it's like a story.
But yes, ultimately yes. Yes.
Okay.
She asked me a question.
So
I can't ask a question.
No, it's not that. So have you, in your adult relationships after the one where you were engaged and everything, have you been in a relation or in a I guess dating
Situation.
whatever. Right. So have you dated someone? There we go. Couldn't get it together. Have you dated someone that you felt that you could be open and vulnerable with and cry if you need to, and they just console you and put your head on their bosom, and you like, oh, her titty's soft while I cry.
You know what? As I grown, learning from my past situation with engagement, I learned that it's okay to just be yourself and be yourself right away.
Of course, yeah.
In between that, sometimes I learned that sometimes you have to back away because it's too much too soon.
We gotta get up a fruition episode.
Too much too soon. But
Bring the tissue.
But
You already got wet wipes, Kleenex. Liz bought me some
Really?
at work. Yeah.
What does it? But
Yeah,
it
she
does like
cook
wipe
with
away your
coupons.
oils on your face.
Yeah,
and all
you
that
can use
stuff?
for your face, your hands, and shit. I was like, oh.
Shout out to Liz.
Kleenex. Though.
Mamas be knowing.
Clipping coupons.
But yeah. I don't know. But I think for the most part I can. But I just have to be careful because that person might not be receptive right away because it's new.
yeah.
True.
You know
Okay,
what I
you're
mean?
saying like you can't just
Yeah.
be like she
Yeah,
take
you
too
can-
long.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, you gotta give somebody time. But like
Can't just
4 or
jump
5
into it and
years.
cry on somebody's
That's
shoulder.
just a
Right,
long
4 or
ass
5
time.
years is a long
That's
ass
just taking
time.
advantage of a motherfucker.
Right. This is just a long
4
ass
years?
time.
You said you ain't that stupid.
Like, think about y'all relationships. Like, have y'all ever hit that point where it's kind of like the person that you were with just broke down, and you was like, "Wow, it's happening right here, right now."
yeah.
And that's wild. Not wild, but wild in the sense like
no, it is wild.
yeah, but
Because you be like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's like wild in the sense like wow,
I'm sorry,
like
I'm just
it's
laughing because
happening
I'm thinking
now.
about like Twitter when they be like, her, I love you, him, you wild.
oh, what's the one
I'm
that
deaf.
Stacey always sent to me to be like when your friends start crying and you ain't was an impasse, so you don't know what to do, so you like.
We need to have an intervention with Stacey. I think she's harboring some things. She's harboring some things. We need to talk about this.
Dude,
stuff.
I got this picture of them on my phone. I said y'all like two parents and shit.
Ooh, let me see. I want to see.
The one we took outside the party. On Beach
Oh
Beach
yeah. Oh yeah, it was hot out there too, boy.
It wasn't that
Shout out
damn
to
hot.
Houston, man. Houston was so much fun. But yeah, though.
They're like parents that divorced.
Let me see. With the red cup.
Watch it, ugly. Did
Oh,
you see him
man.
laugh?
That's hilarious.
Shut up.
That's hilarious.
Let me see that.
Look at it again, like, and they put the narrative of what she said to it, like that is hilarious.
Like get along now.
Stacey looking like, ugh, get off me. Hurry up.
Right.
What's
We only doing this for the
the
kids.
Thanksgiving one when the auntie come in with the fur coat on and stuff like that.
I'm done.
They're like parents who divorced and they proud of their baby. Anyway.
all right,
They at their graduation and shit.
Right.
So to counteract that, I put this strategically because this is a woman that
Of
saying
course you did.
the exact opposite of what Amanda Seals is saying. She said, "Why don't men marry?" And it says because there's nothing in it for them. What exactly does marriage offer men today? Men know that there's a good chance that they'll lose their friends, their respect, their space, their sex life, their money, and if it all goes wrong, their family, says Helen Smith, PhD, author of Men on Strike.
Woo-hoo.
They don't want to enter into a legal contract with someone who could effectively take half their savings, pension, and property when the honeymoon period is over. Men aren't wimping out by staying unmarried or being commitment phobes. They're being smart. Unlike women, men lose all power after they say I do. Their masculinity dies too. And before you answer, shout out to Danielle. I think her name is right. She Danielle Jacobs. She put up there. She said,
I ain't just say her full name on there.
"Oh damn, my bad." She put up there. Beep. She put up there. That's because men ain't got no pensions or no job or something like that. It was hilarious. She's like, I understand the code, but I was just being petty. That was funny. But so this is completely different from what Amanda Seals is saying. And do you think that this is why men? And I've been saying it all week, and for the past, and we talked about a little bit about it on Eagles and Opinion, like relationships are being attacked and marriage is being attacked, where it's like people don't want to do it because of all this stuff right here, and more specifically, men. Like you heard it on the Jason Mitchell episode with
I was gonna
Charlemagne.
bring it up. But I think for him, to me, it was because of what he was around and what he saw.
Yeah.
If you don't see a successful marriage, if you don't see anything successful, then 9 times out of 10, you'd be like, fuck that.
Right.
So-
Which is crazy. But do you think that men lose all those things when they're in a relationship? because it goes back to what you said, Lassie, happy wife, happy life. And that's what men are told. A lot of men was telling me that, like, happy wife, not my dad, but happy wife, happy life. Like,
You said not your dad?
My dad
And
don't
your
play
dad
that.
don't care if your mama ain't happy?
He does.
I'm
He
just
cares,
saying.
but he be like,
He put his foot down.
yeah, exactly. Or, his joke all the time, like, they going through it, they arguing or something like that. He be like, shut up before I pour this hot coffee in your face. And it's hilarious to me. And that just kind of, like, break whatever they were just doing. Like, it's just funny. But I think men in my age range, I feel like this right here is why we don't do it, because we just don't know the unknown.
I don't think so. I think it just depends on who you dating. Like, is that what you just attracting and shit? Like, you think you just gonna lose your friends?
Let's go back to what you was talking about earlier, because dead ass, like, and I'm sorry, I cut you off.
What you are. No, go ahead, for real.
And, like, going back to some of the comments that was under Danny's post about this is, a lot of people were saying this is bullshit. It's bullshit. And I say that because
She's got a PhD.
I don't give a fuck. Apparently, I just don't think that this is correct. You're saying this goes against what Amanda Seals was saying. I don't think that, first of all, like Danny said, these men don't even have fucking savings, pensions, property. Like, I posted a post that said, men be like, be my peace, but they the fucking reason that I'm not the peace. Shit. How can I be the peace when you irritate my ass?
When you creating
doing stupid shit. Right. But
okay.
But I do think that people nowadays, they're not seeing the benefits of being married. I don't think it has anything to do with this.
Yeah,
I don't think it has anything to do with this. I just think people don't see the benefits of getting married. And that could be because their friends who got married young are no longer together, or they've been married twice, or they've seen their parents divorce. It's things like that. I honestly don't think that a man loses power after they say I do, because depending on your household, from most that I've seen, a lot of the marriages in my family, that man runs this household.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of posts too where I don't want to say that they were quite married yet, but there's been posts where, she was down for me, she was here, if she wasn't here, I wouldn't be here, blah blah blah. And a lot of men, and you can flip it, women find that strength within somebody else too, that's always there for them, and that peace, and they get all this extra shit that whatever her name is, talking about men she's mentioning, better sex life, they both have better money, like all that comes with being married or being with somebody too. So to generally say that, nah.
Do you think that should happen before you get married, or do you think
What's
that is
that?
okay with
Right.
during the marriage, huh?
What is that?
That all these things, like the respect, the sex life, the money. Do you think would marriage be stronger if that's already established before you going in?
I hope that's established.
What do you mean?
No, I mean not all the
separately,
time.
together, like what do you specifically
Together,
mean?
they're a couple, engaged or whatever, a couple, boyfriend, girlfriend.
For me,
all these things.
For me, I can say that I would prefer that everybody has, kind of going back to what we talked about with you are who you attract. Have your own type of thing going on, and then we can bring what we have together. Everybody's situation isn't going to be the same. You may have people that build each other up. One builds another up, and they keep going. But for me, I would want you to be able to identify with something that's of yourself, and then we can bring it all together. And then I would hope that, because I'm getting to know you, because we're getting married, I would hope that, the sex is great. So
would you be okay if y'all didn't have sex before you got married? If that's something that he would like to establish, would that be a problem?
I can't really say yes or no right now. I would prefer me to figure out what's going on around these quotas. But I can't really say, but at this point, it's a no for me, dog. I want to see what you're working with.
Wow.
I'm looking at this post, and one of the things
I didn't really say no. I said I'm not there. But
that
go
is
ahead.
true. I still stand by the title of this episode.
What's how this episode?
I had to scroll up. You see my fingers.
What? Oh my God, dog! Like this is
So-
breaking my psyche down. Like every week, though.
Stop it.
No. See,
Go see-
y'all can beat my ass up
Go
mentally.
see a therapist to figure it out.
But I gotta come back here
Happy
every
Reese,
week.
happy Lassie,
I gotta come back
happy
here twice. I
podcast.
see y'all twice a week.
Great.
So that's I gotta see a
But you go to work every day and they fucking piss you off. And you ain't talking about that's messing up my
That's
psyche.
different. I don't know them. I
Yeah,
know
messing up my
y'all. I know. I have a
psyche.
relationship
That should
with
be
y'all.
even worse. You don't know these motherfuckers
no,
be beating on your head. Yes,
Shut up.
yes.
No, it ain't. How you can even
Where's
agree
my
with
couch? Like,
that? Why you putting my shit out
I
there
need
like
10
that? Like
I
why?
need 10
Why y'all
minutes.
attacking me?
I'm not
I don't
attacking you.
understand. I feel
Mwanje,
attacked.
it's a joke.
I feel I feel attacked though.
Okay, we can come up with a different title.
Thank you. Okay. And
Maybe.
it says Mwanje is a terrible person. By the way.
Man, you gotta tell 'em.
right. You just want
no,
people to
no,
know.
no,
Right.
no, no.
Wants
This
to
is
be the
what
center of
happened. This is
attention.
what happened. No, I don't like
Keep
that.
going.
Let's be in the background.
I was talking.
But she talking too. Oh my God! Like, why am I being attacked?
See, but I'm not being offended by it. She was talking
So-
to both of us.
Oh, sorry.
She clearly said I was talking.
Oh, but she looked dead at me.
Because you're sitting right in her peripheral. She left-handed.
What? Thank you.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You just pointed at me.
I said, oh, I'm sorry.
So
But she didn't apologize. Though.
one of the things that I don't
Because I didn't get offended and she didn't. Moving on.
one of the things I don't understand in this post is it says men know there's a good chance they'll lose their friends, their respect, their space, their sex life, their money, and if it all goes wrong, their family.
Who the fuck you, man?
Their friends?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be
When
real with
when
you.
you
I
were in your
spoke-
last situation when you were engaged, were you afraid about losing your friends?
Any of this? Let's go there.
I was afraid that I was closed off from my friends. I
Why?
wasn't able going out
But
with
why?
my friends because I was spending more time with her because my identity. I was losing my identity.
Why?
Because I thought that in a marriage you're supposed to be with your spouse.
But did she have anything to do with that?
Y'all
Not
can
necessarily.
have.
No.
Okay.
No, I think it's very healthy in a relationship to be your own person and do your own
Exactly.
things.
But that's the thing. When men get married and they cross the bridge, jump the broom, whatever they do, they hear the war stories, the horror stories from other relationships that, fortunately a lot of men shouldn't be bringing it out, but they're like, man, don't get married, X, Y, and Z. And I've heard this before. Like, don't get married because
If
she
y'all
doesn't
ask
want to
Mary
have
saying that, then
she doesn't want to have sex as much as she used to because now she
bitch
kind
be
of feel like.
tired.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, but before you, how are you?
No,
You
we
were
got 4 kids and you want me to just throw it back every night?
absolutely. Why not?
But when this nigga come home from work, my food better be on the table.
Why not?
Come
And I
on.
want some sex.
Happy,
wrong with that?
happy husband, happy life.
And
No,
what are
I'm
you
not saying
doing?
that.
What are you doing? Because nowadays,
Whatever
these-
you
the-
need.
Going to work at
Nowadays,
the
these niggas
factory.
are saying, "I'm not paying all the rent. We gotta pay. We gotta
Oh,
go
yeah,
half and
monetary
half."
Thing. Them monetary things. If that's what we established, then we can do that. But at the end of the day, if she working a job, if she want,
to the man with the lion.
if she
Yeah,
want,
she
if
gotta
she want a
work,
foot
take care of your
rub,
kids,
if she want a
cook
foot rub,
food, throw it back every
She's
night.
gonna be in therapy crying.
Whoa, but what am I doing
She
though?
had a wet wipe Kleenex, like, oh
What
my
am I
God.
doing?
Nothing. You treating her like a
Nothing.
roommate, making her pay
I'm
half
up-
the rent.
Holding the baby.
But I'm
when-
not working.
holding
No,
the
I'm not
baby
taking
when-
care of our kids.
He
Like,
holding
that's
the
what I'm
baby when the
saying.
diaper stank
you
like
take
here.
the mail. I'm being a
It
man.
boo boo.
I'm being a man. I'm doing half those things too.
Daddy love you, but here.
She's still doing more than you.
How's she still doing more than me? It shouldn't be a more than you and more than me thing. It should be this is what we established.
Somebody
in our
is always
household.
gonna be doing more than the other. If
Why
she's
say
taking
that?
the kids to school and picking them up, she's already doing
What she
more
take
than
to
you.
school, kids to school, and I come pick them up.
Okay, then it's half and half.
That's what I'm saying. So why can't it be? But why can't we
Nobody
be
said
half
it
and
can't.
half, and then
Right,
we
I'm
can
not-
have
I'm
some
not saying it
sex?
can't.
Putting all this shit on her.
Why can't we have sex? I want to have sex. Now I'm having
I want
sex
to have
too.
sex too, but you
Okay,
call the fuck
then.
over.
Okay
Not
then.
tonight.
Who says that? I got a headache.
Your-
It's just one night out the week.
See, I can't
Damn.
stand his
Yeah,
sex
so
ball
one
ass.
so one night out the week, maybe 2-3 nights out the week, she can't
Ooh,
say
that's
she
much.
don't want to throw it
Ooh,
out, throw it back.
Ooh, ouch.
Nigga, you already
2-3.
living in
2-3.
the celibate life now.
Kind of, sort of. It's by choice. I mean, not by choice. It's kind of forced
I gotta
on
get
me.
that clip of your face because that was hilarious.
It's kind of forced upon me right now.
You know, forced.
It is forced.
This ain't Star Wars.
I got the force.
Or is that
That's
Star
what it is.
Trek?
Anyway,
Star Wars. It's Star
anyway,
Wars.
you done with
Um,
this shit?
Yeah, we done. We can be done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
niggas.
yeah, see,
Jesus Christ. 'Cause
we
this
are
one going
attacking
nowhere.
man. Come on, go ahead. 9.
Shout out to Amanda Seals.
Time for my nine. So this is gonna be funny.
Okay.
It's not gonna be long at all. I already know. Because
Oh,
number one,
shit.
they're gonna have something to say.
Why it gotta be me? Stop picking on me.
No, what? Get
Because
Ramondre doing this for ratings, y'all.
No, I'm
He
not.
ain't
Y'all
really
being
hurt.
for real. Y'all be picking on me.
okay, shut up and just listen. Because this is funny.
Shut up and just listen. I can't be quiet.
Because what Miss Robbie say? Sometimes you gotta say it like that out of love.
You don't love me. You don't care. You don't give a fuck about me.
Yes, she do. She wouldn't be friends with
Maybe.
you. You wouldn't be here right now.
Right, motherfucker, you be outside. Wake
You said that's tough love. Like, what kind of tough love is that? Like, shouldn't you want to hug? Go.
That'd be you. Get off me.
Yo,
Get your titty off
stop
my shoulder.
lying.
Swear
Oh
to
my God.
swear to God,
No,
that'd be
no,
you,
don't be-
Mwanje. That'd be
Lassie,
you.
don't do that. Lassie, don't do that.
You make this shit so awkward for no reason.
No, because no.
So awkward.
Because remember you gave me the Bryson Tiller gift, right? And I was like, give me a hug. He was like, we don't do that. I was like, give me a hug.
Clearly, I was playing with you. Clearly.
How am I supposed to know that?
First of all, one time she said that. You all the time
One
be like, oh my
time?
God, your titties touching me. Oh my
Right.
God, your
You
thighs
all
touching me.
sexual.
Oh my God.
Move
really?
your ass away
Right.
from me.
Nah, 'cause that was-
Right.
Come on, keep going. I just thought about something. Keep going.
Okay. Oh,
Yep.
all right.
Oh, I can't stand Lassie.
Hot, hot. That's the name of the episode. Hot, hot.
I can't stand Lassie.
Listen.
Yeah.
I don't feel sexually attracted to my husband anymore. When we are going to have sex, all I can see is a walrus spread out on the bed. I know I'm being critical, but it is how I feel. I still love him. I connect with him in every other area, but this has just been turning me off. He does run and walk as a form of exercise. He hasn't changed a lot during our 5 years of marriage physically, but I cannot be turned on by him anymore. I have not told him the issue. He always asks if I'm no longer sexually attracted to him. I am not. I really don't want this to be what ends it all. I have asked him to warm up the crock pot before, but he doesn't do any foreplay. He just lays there naked, ready to go.
Oh my God. That's sick.
What's sick?
He's terrible.
So he's terrible?
Yeah. He just lays there. He doesn't do anything to, like she said, warm the crock pot. Like he just that's no.
So what about her criticism in terms of him looking like a walrus?
I mean, that's how she feels. That's how she feels. Sometimes if she gave him the nice treatment, like, babe, I want you to do more for me, yada yada yada, and he's not being receptive of it, you have to juice it up. You like a walrus, you fat, or, like you have to juice it up, whatever in context to whatever the relationship is. If that's something y'all can handle, then that's what you can handle. Sometimes he may need that jump start, because if she goes on and that continues to happen, he just sit there and lay there and the same sex happens all the time, she's going to get bored. She's going to end up doing something that she's not going to want to do, or, she go to Booze and Nudes and go in the back closet and fuck the dude. Like, I don't know.
But this is what's interesting.
Now she a cheater.
He said he does run and walk as a form of exercise.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't changed a lot during our 5 years of marriage physically, but I cannot be turned on by him anymore.
Right. So
But
there
he's been big.
Yeah, so there's one thing that she was attracted to at first, and now she's not attracted to it anymore. That you still have to spice it up for your wife. You know
That's
what
that
I mean?
teddy bear fetish.
Yeah.
So is she wrong for saying that he's a walrus?
I think so. That's mean.
I mean, as long as she didn't tell it to him, that's how she felt. I mean,
But you could say.
but like I said before, if that is how their relationship is, and he doesn't get super offended, and she can say that to him, and that might be the carrot dangling in front of him, then that's what she needs to do.
Chicken wing.
More,
Buy a horse.
see, that's terrible. But
So do you think that your dynamic with your wife will be what you said last week? Like you'll be able to tell her you looking like the people from My 600-Pound Life?
absolutely, because that's how the dynamic with my family is. Like my I can go to my sisters and I'll sit down on the couch. I can go on the couch and my little sister come in the room like, you fat, and then walk away. Like,
It's your little sister.
But I'm saying that's what I'm growing. That's what I've been around. So if my
That
wife
mean
were
she
to do
gonna be
something,
that way.
huh?
That don't mean she gonna be that way.
I don't know. I'm saying
She could have
it
grew
doesn't
up where
have
it
to
was
be
like, Jake, don't talk about
that's
salad.
and that's fine, But she gonna have that interaction with my family. She's gonna see like, oh, he's brought up different. I've had it. I've been around
She just thinks she's
partners.
supposed to wear- He just painted.
That's true,
my
but
God,
she
don't
can't
try.
just pick up that. Like,
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. I totally agree. But at least she knows what she's getting into once she gets around my family.
but you can be that way with your family. You can't be that way with her.
Oh, that's why I say you're still a little sister.
But there still have to be some pull and tug. Like, I have to be able to be who I am.
So what do you tell her? She look like somebody from what?
My 600-Pound Life.
That's rude as a bitch. I would y'all backhand the fuck out of you.
But she grew 100. But she grew 150
So I knock your
pounds.
head between that
fam.
washer and that
She grew
dryer.
150 pounds. Okay,
That,
keep it in
so
context.
that means she 300 pounds maybe. Like, dang.
It's
Given
your
the
fault.
context of here, is she wrong? No, she's not wrong because she's not getting satisfied, and that you need. And as a man, you should be able to satisfy your wife, and you need to be able to listen to your wife. Your wife wants you to warm up the crock pot. Get
Happy
down there
wife,
and look
happy
it
life.
up. Look it
What about you,
up.
Lassie?
I think she wrong. I think there are ways going about it. He's also wrong because we too old to not be doing foreplay. I'm gonna just start there.
So just the foreplay part is what he's wrong about.
No.
I agree. If she said that he has not changed much physically since they've been together the past 5 years, so and he does consistently exercise, so
Stay stable.
right. So she's wanting him to probably be smaller, muscular, some of those things. You know, I feel like if you want to, there's a way to say it. Like Tim said, let's get in the gym. Let's get more healthy. Let's get fit. You know, things like that. Not saying you look like a walrus, you need to lose weight.
But she didn't say that to him though. She said that's how she feels.
I'm not saying she did. I'm saying though, I'm just going off the context of, you know, if at some point she does say something,
That's wrong.
yeah, don't just come out the gate saying you look like a
But she wrong.
walrus.
Is she wrong to feel that way?
Is there a difference between? And that's why I read this one. It was funny because it randomly popped up. I said this is hilarious because of last week of them. I think it was him marrying her, whatever it was, and then her changing versus them being married and him being the same way. And then she was like, "I don't like you no more. I don't want that no more. And you don't get me foreplay." Let's X out the foreplay part real quick.
Mm-hmm.
The whole we were married at one point, or when we got married, this is how you were, and then you changed. And then the flip side, we were married, you've been the same way, I just don't like you no more. Is anybody wronger?
No.
How do you
want that one?
I think the second scenario that you read this week, she's more wrong.
I don't think she's wrong at all. If she wants something different, you know.
But you married though, so what do you? So you married,
Right.
married your chick. She been the same, 32H.
I was gonna say something, but I ain't gonna say it.
Voluptuous woman, but you don't want that no more in 5 years. What you gonna do?
Well, one thing I'm gonna have to find another way to love her, in a certain way. But if there are some concerns, like, hey, maybe do this, change. Is there something wrong for me to say, babe? I don't like this hairstyle anymore. Could you maybe change it up a little bit. Maybe
I
do
hope
this.
she changed her hairstyle in 5
But
years.
it-
It's a little different. I'm talking
Right,
about
but
body. That's something hard to
same with the
change.
body parts too. Like, hey, babe, it's kind of getting, it's getting.
Nigga, I've been looking like this for 5 years. The fuck you mean?
I think we need to change. When you on top of me, you know what? I'm not even gonna go there.
Nigga, that's how I was when I
Nope.
was riding you
Nope.
before.
Not gonna go
I'm
there.
too heavy for your bitch ass.
No. I ain't gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there.
I mean, so, and I don't want you to think that I'm picking at you.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't.
No, you ain't gotta apologize to him.
I wasn't apologizing, but
Okay.
just a disclaimer. So,
Did it,
but
Tim.
Mwanje,
She did
so
it for foolishness.
you got a nice little round belly here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, say a girl is dating you,
Mm-hmm.
and she's okay with it, and then 5 years later, she like, you need a 6-pack. I need you to tone it up.
We need meet in the middle.
No, that ain't what she wants.
No,
She wants you to have some abs.
You're gonna have to meet in the middle. You're
But
gonna have to meet in the middle.
You're not trying to meet her in the middle because she gained 150 pounds. She can't just lose 50.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm just saying you need to lose some weight. That's all I said. You need to lose some weight.
Mwanje is
That's all I
hilarious.
said.
Not me. I ain't having no 6-pack.
No, I'll give you a 4. I'll give you a 4.
She said,
I'll
"You
give you
can't
a
be
4.
chubby,
I'm in the
you can't
middle.
Be hubby if he ain't chubby.
I'll give you 4 in the middle. I don't want to be this way when I'm married. I don't want to be
You
this
got a little
way.
two up here.
Because but I want to be strong enough where I can have fun with my wife, lift my wife up, put her in this
Shit,
place,
right.
this, that, and the other. Fuck her outside with the window up. You know what I'm saying? Little stuff like that.
Sorry, hand going on the way.
This little stuff like because I want to have fun. I want it to be fun. Because I don't want her to go search for that fun somewhere else. Hopefully she wouldn't just do that anyway. But
That's probably what she thinking. Damn, I hope my husband don't go searching for a skinny girl somewhere else.
no, and I clarified that too. I said I love her to death, but I want her to lose some weight. That's all I said. I said that all. I don't know why just the little jokey joke part took hold to everything else.
Telling
It's just
someone that they look like someone from my 600-pound life.
Yeah,
It's
that's-
not a
that's
joke.
a very-
it's a joke.
No.
It's a
I
joke.
would not
It can't
take
be
that
a
as
joke
a joke.
anymore.
I would not take that as a
I wouldn't
joke.
but I wouldn't say that though.
I'm saying if my boyfriend said that to me, I would
That's
not take that as a
terrible.
joke.
Right, I agree. But I was saying jokes. It was just jokes.
Sure you
That's
would.
all. I wouldn't literally go to my wife and say, "You like?" I would tell her, "You need to lose some
Facebook tells a
weight,"
different story because you was like, "That's wrong. I can't say that."
because I was going along with the context.
Told y'all, Moan should be doing shit for ratings. His feelings ain't really hurt.
My feelings are really hurt because y'all don't know who I am after almost damn near 2 years. That's crazy.
Shut up, nigga. I knew you longer.
I'm talking about during
Facts.
the duration of the show.
She did. Well, either way,
I know who you are. I went to school with people like you.
when it comes to telling your spouse that you are not feeling their physical attraction, be gentle. Even if you think that y'all dynamic is to be jokey, that might be something.
Say, come here, fat ass.
like that's what y'all do. That's what y'all do.
That just made me think of Nutty Professor.
Like, that's what y'all do. That's what
I
y'all
said
do.
that this morning. Come here, hey, tank ass. Tank ass.
Who said that? Who you said it to?
Nutty Professor.
Oh,
When he was bigger.
who you said it to?
Then he said it to himself.
I was like, say
Oh.
himself.
when he was
That ain't
skinny.
what I'm asking.
Remember he had the big ass pants.
Hell yeah, tank ass.
Yeah.
Tank
They was
ass.
going back and
that's
forth.
when he kept popping out his fat assness when he's popping back in.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, remember when, my favorite part is the Godzilla one and shit when his fingers was big as hell and JD was in the window. She's like, ah! He was like, he took that little ass piece of turkey. He's like, She's like, like your big
Y'all
ass.
laughing at that man. He was going through a very traumatic experience.
It was tank ass.
Yeah, see, they can laugh at that though. They
It's a
can laugh at
movie.
that.
Right.
Oh, it's a movie.
That's
It's
completely
a movie.
different.
It's a joke.
It's a movie.
It's a joke.
It's
I'm
a
not
movie.
calling. I'm
It's a
not calling
movie.
my husband tank ass.
It's a movie.
That's the difference.
It's a movie.
Come here, tank ass.
It's a movie.
Reese might.
Tank ass.
Reese might, but it's okay for her to do it. Everybody fine and
Hell,
happy.
I might be the tank ass. Shit. Tank ass.
Go ahead, Reese. Do it again. Like, yeah.
Tank ass.
I'm done.
Oh
Anyway,
man,
I
it's
guess.
terrible. Y'all sick.
Let's wrap him up.
But
You're
what you say?
sick.
You didn't say anything. Is she
Yeah.
wrong?
I think I just wanted to read it because it was different. I think because he was a certain way, that's what you married. I mean, like we talked about earlier, you can't tell anybody, you can't allow me to want something different. I mean, we all want what we want, but I think because she married him that way, I think she just got tired of the shit. So it's like, I think you should approach it the same way, not be like, you look like somebody off of 610-pound life, whatever the fuck it's called. I think we need to, same thing, go to the gym, whatever we want to do, but be vocal, just don't be rude about it. But I think it's different when you married somebody that way, and it's a little bit more touchy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, last quote of the week.
Quote of the week. Shout out to Kofi Cerebo.
Young Cole.
He tweeted this a couple days ago. Bad experiences aren't an excuse to close off to the world. Learn and stay open. Keep loving.
Absolutely. That means you have to. If you're a vulnerable person, you have to stay vulnerable. Don't close it off
your
for
empowerment?
anybody else. No, I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
That's one of my things I've just been thinking about all week. Like just being vulnerable and being open and honest and being your authentic self. I've just been thinking about that a lot lately. So my empowerment is coming from Amanda Seals. We showcased her earlier in the podcast here. Reason why I chose her is because DJ Envy talked about how Amanda Seals was very, very resilient in the beginning of her career. A lot of people kind of see her on Insecure, and that's where kind of was introduced to her. But
She's been out for a while.
She's been out for a while. I didn't even know
Yeah.
she was part of Floetry. I didn't know that until her first interview. And she was under Amanda Diva, and even before then, she was hosting stuff on MTV. And I think now
Doing
she's kind
comedy.
of comedy. Now she's found her stride. She has a podcast out, Small Doses. She got a book coming out called Small Doses, and her empowerment, just basically saying like, just keep firing, no matter what happens, what's going on, and also keep the same value of, people will take something and try to change it. I think she has a game show called Smart, Funny, and Black, I think. I might be saying those words incorrectly, but she sold the show, she said, and then she took it back, sold the show and took it back because I think Charlamagne said that some exec said they tried to make it smart, funny, and white. And she knows the value. She knows
Try
her
to
value.
whitewash my shit.
Right, exactly. She knows her value. So sometimes you do have to take down a couple, you have to turn down a couple $1 million to get that 5 or 10 that you will ultimately get because you know the value of your content and your stuff. So shout out to Amanda Seals. I be saying all the time, I'm gonna tweet these people. I'm definitely gonna do that. That's my empowerment of the week. Keep firing. Don't give up. Be resilient. Be authentically you. And don't have those bad experiences and close yourself off. Keep being vulnerable and open to new experiences and new people.
You
Remember,
too.
you attract who you are and what you
Yep.
are. It all
Amen.
wraps together. That's cute. 78. How you guys feel about that one?
Pretty
I feel
good.
attacked. No, I feel great. Didn't care.
Yeah, well, episode 78 is always I am Reese Berry. Before I continue with my outro, please make sure you guys do share the podcast. Leave us comments on SoundCloud. Visit our website. Submit your Ask YBO questions. That's very important. We read them every episode. We'll get you a little shout out. If you have any questions that you want to ask us, all three of us separately, whatever it is, let us know. iTunes rating and review, all this stuff is very important. But we can't keep doing this without you guys. So share, comment. Give us that energy. We're going to keep putting out good stuff. Reese Berry, ReeseBera, 4 Ys. That's Twitter, Tumblr, Snapchat, and Instagram.
I love the way you closed. And I'm Lassie at Lola Baby, BAYBEE on Snapchat and on Instagram and Twitter at LaCreme Lola. Mwanje?
And it's your boy Mwanje. That's MWANJE. You can find me on all social media platforms. Mwanje Uganda for Leopard.
Right.
Peace, yo.
Until next time.